Justin Fields made his unofficial debut in the black and gold, and there are many split opinions about how he performed in the Steelers preseason opener against the Texans. To me, he played really well. He went 5 of 6, 67 passing yards. He was really accurate. He was hitting wide receivers in stride. His best throw of the night was to Van Jefferson. And he also had a couple of passes that he threw quickly to George Pickens. So it looks like Justin Fields is getting better at getting the ball out fast, but he still had a good amount of plays that showed you why Chicago replaced him for Caleb Williams, because he still had 2 big sacks that he took, not getting the ball out fast enough. There was an out route that should have been challenged by Mike Tomlin because it was a completion, but you would have liked for him to get the ball out of his hands a lot faster than what he did. And, there was another sack that he had when he just tried to get outside the pocket but just ran into a guy. So the pocket presence still is a work in progress, but I don't think Justin Fields struggled. He did have 2 fumble snaps, but I don't think that was on Justin. I put that more on Nate Herberg than I do Justin Fields, because Nate Herberg isn't even a center. And if Nate Herberg is your backup option at center, you need to go sign somebody in free agency, because that's not his position. And in the preseason, when you are dealing with these mismatched offensive line lineups, you got second stringers playing with third stringers, and you got guys out of position. This isn't nothing that you wouldn't expect. If you're Justin Fields and you've been working with the starting and second string center, then all of a sudden you have the guy snapping the ball that's out of position that normally plays guard, of course you're going to have some problems with the snap. You're going to have a couple of botches, but I can't completely put that all on Justin Fields. Mainly I'm looking at how well he threw the football, because once we get to the regular season, the number of botch snaps that you're going to have is going to be fairly low with you having the actual starting center there. And when they had the guy out of West Virginia there at center, you didn't see no more botch snaps. Justin Fields, right now, he still is the backup QB behind Russell Wilson in my eyes, only because Mike Tomlin still is pretty set in stone on Russ being the starter, getting the opportunity to show what he can do in Pittsburgh with Arthur Smith and just in the new situation compared to what he was in Denver. But we also have to take into account that it's easy to criticize Justin Fields and say that he shouldn't be the starter when we have yet to see Russell Wilson take a single snap of preseason action. And I don't think Russ is really that good. And I really believe that with the reports that have come out of training camp about Justin Fields, he's going to prove to be the better quarterback. Now, Russ didn't play in this matchup because he still is nursing that calf injury that has sidelined him for the last couple of practices. He did want to play in this preseason game, so we will definitely see him next week. But right now, Justin Fields, I don't see the gap between him and Russell Wilson being that wide. If anything, they're right on par with each other. It's just easy to be negative about Justin Fields because that's the only dude we really saw out there who was part of this competition. But if we were to see Russell Wilson out there, it's pretty hard to start 5 of 5. I don't care if it's the preseason or the regular season. In the preseason, for you to complete your first 5 passes was really impressive. And he was dishing the ball out. He was getting out fast to George Pickens. He had one screen pass that he threw to Najee Harris, the first drive where he could have damn near got his head taken off, but he threw the ball, adjusting his arm angle. It was a really nice pass, and it was a good job of Justin Fields turning what could have been a negative play into a positive play. And last year, you didn't really get too many of those situations because of Mason Rudolph, Mitch Trubisky, and Kenny Pickett just not having that kind of arm talent. Justin Fields, to me, with his athleticism, what he can do running the football, being one of the greatest dual threat quarterbacks in the history of this game statistically, he brings a different element to the Steelers offense that you don't get with Russ. If you start Justin, you could potentially have a top 5 rushing attack this year. And even if he isn't that good throwing the football, he does have a tendency to hold it a little bit late than what you would want. The offensive line, if it truly is improved, then he should have way more time to find open wide receivers. But what I love about Justin so much is that it's really hard to have a lot of negative plays with him at quarterback, just with how damn gifted he is as an athlete. Not only is he hard to bring down, but he's not the easiest guy that you want to try to tackle in the open field, because he can flat out embarrass you. So I was really impressed with what I saw out of Justin Fields against the Houston Texans week 1 of the preseason. I don't really get the criticisms that people have about him. I don't put the fumble snaps on him. I really put that on the center. That's what you get when you got guys playing out of position. You could have had this same center, Nate Herberg, doing good in practice and training camp, but once you get into an actual in-game situation, things can end up going a lot differently, and some guys just aren't meant to play center. So I'm not going to put the 2 fumble snaps on him completely. I thought he looked really impressive for the small amount of time that he was out there.